advanced.
age.
They're very advanced. So
they're
you got
the hypersexual
but
age.
you have to
Yes.
meet these kids where they are. You can't go in there talking about, well, listen, turn to page 55 and let's talk about the penis.
But
You can't do
you
that.
also can't have them spitting out Cheetos, them motherfuckers. That's wild as hell.
You spit the Cheetos. You're right.
That is wild.
If you can't drink those Cheetos out that fucking mason jar, then
if it was my Cheeto that I spit in a mason jar, I'm not drinking that shit because it's nasty.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Water?
Right. And who wants a pussy that's been fucked by 100 men? That's the whole point.
If it's been fucked by one, if it's one Cheeto, it's gross because it's Cheeto water. Like, this is a dumb experience.
No, it's not a dumb experience.
Now I'm invalidating it. I wasn't doing it before.
The chips,
I'm doing it. Let the record show I'm invalidating this shit right now.
The Cheetos represent multiple penises.
As a former educator,
what it is.
As a former educator who worked with a very, very, very impressionable and vulnerable group of students, the conversation around sexual health, I agree with you, cannot be the same textbook.
Exactly.
It cannot be boring, but it also cannot be harmful in its origin.
Uh-huh.
And to start the conversation with saying that your value depreciates and yours doesn't, that is harmful. The conversation should start with, hey, this is how you have meaningful relationships. Think before you fuck. Everybody think before you fuck.
He never said
not
he
just
started
men,
the conversation
with
that. He
okay,
said that was an element of what he's schooled.
He literally said, I tell my girls your pussy is a trash can. That was the
first
first bar.
I did not say that. That's not what I said.
What's the first bar then?
That's not what I said.
Trash can.
That's not what I said.
So what you
said I told the little boys, do not stick your penises
and
in
what you
trash
tell the
cans.
little girls.
I tell the little girls,
your pussies are like trash cans. The more that's go in it, is the more nasty it's gonna be.
I didn't say trash cans. I said the more men you have sex.
We are on camera,
ma'am. Okay, let me repeat what I said. The boy spit the Cheetos in the glass.
Right.
I told the girl the glass before the Cheetos was your purity. But if all these guys spit in that represents the penis. That's all those boys represented a different penis that was inside of you that left something inside of you. It is no, I didn't. I told the little boys don't stick their penises in trash cans. That's what I said.
So what's a trash can? A pussy.
A pussy.
That's what you call a little girl.
You're arguing over words. At the end of the day, he's trying.
Because that's harmful.
It's not harmful.
So
because the kids
to tell a 13-year-old to equate her reproductive organs with a trash can is harmful.
Not a 13-year-old girl. I don't want her to be the 40-year-old girl that can't find a husband and gonna buy a dog and die alone.
I think sexual education for little kids is just a touchy subject because you're just arguing about the word that he's using.
I'm arguing about the social experiment that was conducted, and the premise of that was using a metaphor, calling the reproductive organ a trash can. That's not me being caught in semantics. That's literally the basis of the social experiment, and it's a good metaphor, except it's harmful.
But guess what? Guess what though? Some of the kids' reactions to that
are visceral. I imagine.
Well, no. The kids' reactions to that is like, what? Dang. And then, so now you hear the girl say in the class, I'm not doing that. I ain't finna have no, I'm not finna have no Cheeto vagina.
Right.
Right?
So
because now they understand.
Just because something is effective doesn't mean that it's right. I think a lot of things that have happened in the world are effective. They're effective methods. They can sway people one way or another. They can condition people one way or another. It doesn't mean it was right. And I mean, I think you could think of like 3 examples off the top that led to like genocide and shit. Like that's
absolutely. But like you, for instance, I think you're a very attractive young lady. There are girls out here right now that are 13 years old that's built just like you.
Yeah.
Right? And so those girls are being not only
hypersexualized. Yeah.
Right. Now they're fucking teachers, softball coaches, they're fucking dudes that's their age, they're fucking their next door neighbor when the wife goes to the grocery store. I'm telling you this because I have a 19-year-old daughter, and my 19-year-old daughter put me up on game. She said, Daddy, these girls, when she was in high school and middle school, she said, Daddy, these girls are plotting to have sex with teachers.
Yeah.
They're plotting to have sex. One girl said, I'm having sex with my neighbor. Right? So my daughter keep me up on game about what's good. She keeps her ear to the street because she tell me everything. Daddy, these girls are wild.
And I used to teach in one of the most vulnerable schools and populations in Chicago public schools. And I will say that is one side of the coin, but we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge the other, that these men are also predatory and they plot,
absolutely.
And they look for the girls who don't have 2 parents at home. They look for the girls who have trouble pasts. They look for the girls who are financially unstable and insecure. They look for the girls who are hyper developing, and they plot on them and they play on their insecurities and they prey on them.
And now hold on, watch it. Now what's the first thing you said? That children that don't have what at home?
They have broken family homes.
That's right. And why is those families broken?
It's a lot of ways. It ain't just because it can be single daddies too.
Right. But I'm saying, but why? But 70% are women. That's we can Google it.
I won't say not in my classroom.
Okay, 70. Hold on, but 70%. So that means if women had sex with men they were married to, it would be more 2-parent homes.
Protect you from not being. I know plenty of women who started out married and are single moms now because the husband up and leave, get a divorce, and start a whole new fucking life.
Right, but that's the extreme.
That's not the extreme. That happens more often than not. Or, I mean, worst case scenario, an extreme is saying like she's a widow. That's an extreme.
A 2-parent home is always, if you ask anybody, a 2-parent home is always better than a 1-parent home.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Right. And if women and men were married, if women married before they carried, it would be more structured households. And you wouldn't have to worry about kids coming to school, and because daddy would be at the school choking the fuck out the teacher.
Right, but marriage doesn't
talk to his daughter.
you. But marriage doesn't. Marriage is not only on the place of the woman to start, initiate. Again, we're talking about two parties here.
Yeah.
Both people are involved, so both people have to be accountable. But also, just because you're married, it does not mean that a woman won't end up being a single mom. I've seen women say that they're still in their marriage. Their husband live in a house. He don't know the name of her teachers. He don't know the name of the kids' doctors. He don't know the kids' birthdays. The dad be there, but he don't be there. The dad provides, like our conversation earlier, financially, but in no other way does he show up for the family. And so in a lot of ways, those mothers still feel single, to the point that the dads don't even know what's going on in the school. The kids don't trust them with their issues, with their concerns, because there's a shift in a relationship dynamic. So what I'm saying is, a marriage does not protect you from being a single parent on either spectrum, a man or a woman.
But even, okay, so my daughter's 19, right? And my daughter right now, she'll tell me, "Hey daddy, I'm still a virgin." I'm like, "Okay, you don't have to tell me that, but okay, I'm glad you are, thank Jesus." But anyway, shit. But anyway, and the reason for that is because she always
you know how dangerous men are.
Right? And how does she know that?
I said, because you know how dangerous.
I don't want to drag it all too long with this question, but that's literally what his whole social experiment.
Men are dangerous.
Can I finish? His whole social. You keep proving his point. You literally said there's all of these men that are preying on women, waiting for their downfall. All of this, and all he is saying is acknowledging that there are weird dudes. There are dudes that that just want you for sex, and wait until you find that one and lock them down. But that's the whole premise of the whole argument.
He's saying that he's telling the boys, y'all gonna go to jail, y'all gonna get felonies. He's telling the girls, keep your legs closed, your pussy is a trash. That's not the same as be careful.
But let me tell you.
That's not the same as be careful.
But let me tell you what I told my 19-year-old daughter before she went out to college. I say, listen, if you were, because we have these conversations, and she appreciates, she always come back and say, "Daddy, you was right. Them dudes do say this," right? And I told my daughter, I say, "Listen, baby, if you come home pregnant, and you're not married, and you come home pregnant to me in my house where you still reside, and I take care of you, right? And I'm your covering, right? If you come in here and say you pregnant, the first question I have for you: have you been sexually assaulted? If you tell me you have not been sexually assaulted, it's your fucking fault, because I put your ass up on game. I told your ass how they're gonna finesse you, and I told you what they were going to do to you. So if you open your legs to a motherfucker that didn't commit to you, it's your fucking fault. It's nobody's fault but yours, because I put your ass up on game."
Remember earlier when we was talking about, you was like, "Oh, women supposed to be strong, they supposed to have intuition," and I was like, "Niggas be finessing and manipulating people," and y'all was like, "No." But then you just told your daughter that they, in fact, do be finessing and manipulating.
Yeah, I have to teach her that, though. But that's what men are for. Men need to be teaching their daughters that these dudes out here that are raised by these single moms, they raised like little bitches, and they're going to try to manipulate your daughter.
Or is it just that socially men are conditioned to do that? Because you got to, in order to put somebody on game, you got to know the game.
Exactly.
Was you raised by a single mom?
No.
Okay, but you know the game somehow. So it doesn't matter who you was raised by. Society is conditioning men to be manipulative, to lie, to navigate in these social ways to get what they want from women without any responsibility. It don't matter who raised them, because you wasn't raised by a single mom, yet you know the game and you was able to teach them. But the game is directly correlated to men, and it's on y'all to stop treating that shit like it's
fault is it that you were manipulated?
Right.
Is it a guy's fault that you were manipulated mentally?
Who
do you have
manipulated?
No, you. We talking in general. In general.
Whose fault is that?
The person who's doing the manipulating.
Oh no.
So what we're saying is it's okay to manipulate people.
No, pull that back up. Pull that back up. We're gonna read that. We're gonna read that.
Because y'all saying it's the fault of the person who was a victim of the manipulation instead of the person to just not manipulate people.
So do women have free will? Do you have control? Do women have control?
I got 3 minutes. That's what I got. So how about this? Instead of teaching our daughters to stay up on game, how about we teach our sons to just stop trying to finesse bitches and be honest?
So you're talking about
you take the responsibility off the woman to keep her legs closed?
No. We're not talking about sex. We're talking about manipulation. Instead of saying, "Hey, this is how you protect yourself from getting manipulated. This how you protect yourself from getting finessed. How about we have that conversation with boys and say, stop lying, stop misleading people, stop doing shit that's not honorable, and stop doing shit that doesn't have any integrity. And just be honest.
You didn't listen to anything we said earlier. It's honorable.
Can we do both? Can we get mad at men and get mad at the women? Can the women? Can we tell women to keep their legs closed and also tell men to stop sleeping around? We can do both.
I think that we can do both, but I don't think that's like telling somebody like who got in a car accident like, oh, you shouldn't have been driving. Like, gee, it's not
victim blaming at all.
It's not. No, it's not.
I just said no. All they're saying is we're talking about the one side of it, which is women need to keep their legs closed, but also men stop being shitheads too.
Exactly.
It's both.
Okay, so what I'm